Hi friends. It's been a while, hasn't it? Welcome back to my channel. It's Pop Mata here from Traditionally Inspired Meaningful Art. And I'm gonna just let you know where I've been, what I've been sewing, and what you can expect in the coming weeks. So happy to be back and sharing a bit of my sewing with you again. Get started with what I am wearing. I think in the very last Friday sews you saw this as just a bodice, and we have a full-on dress. I will pop, I hope, some images on the screen of what the full sort of dress looks like, but I use the bodice from MeMadeMay's Simplicity 9114. I recorded this whole thing and it only recorded 1 minute and 30 seconds of it. So I'm coming to you with like second video recording energy. Okay, so if I'm talking really fast or leaving out details, it's because I thought I already said them to you, but you didn't hear them because it did not record. So let me try again. All right, I am wearing Simplicity S9114, the bodice. So I used the bodice from this amazing MeMadeMay pattern to do the top of this dress. And this is a cotton voile fabric that I purchased at Mood Fabrics online last year. I absolutely love the print of this. I fell in love with it instantly, and I'm so thrilled that I have a wearable garment out of it, and not just a wearable garment, but one that I think came out fabulously. I'm going to save like the major details for a makes video, but I will just give you a quick twirl and then also pop in on the screen like a quick video that I had taken when I wore it to work a couple weeks ago. But I absolutely love it. They say third time is a charm. I am really praying that it is, because I do not want to have to record this video yet again. Yet again, I stood in front of this phone and spilled my heart out, my sewing soul, and it just stopped. So we're gonna try this one more time because that's all I have left. That's all I have left, because then I need to get the kids ready and get to a birthday party. Okay, so we're gonna try this one last time. That's it. That's all I got. I don't know what the last thing was that you heard, but I think I was talking about this dress because I had moved on and talked about this top, and that didn't record. So I'm gonna go back to this dress, which is the S9114, which you probably know. Probably that's the only thing I've been able to tell you thus far about this dress. These are the woes of trying to record on a phone that does not have any memory left. Okay. All right. I want to be as joyful as I was the first 2 times I did this, but okay, I'm back. I'm here anyway, so let's do it. One of the wisest decisions I think I made in the making of this dress is because I remembered I'm working with cotton voile. I've worked with cotton voile before to make a dress-like thing, and I really was disappointed in the way that it flowed in the breeze. It just was opening everywhere. It had no weight, no body to really give it the appropriate type of flow that I wanted. So this time I remembered that, and I put this beautiful cobalt blue cotton as sort of like a lining, so it lines the entire bottom layer, gathered section. Okay, so it added 2 things that were really awesome. It made a really clean finish because I sewed them right sides together, made sure that the blue fabric was, I think, 3 to 4 inches longer than the cotton voile. That also then meant that I had additional length added to the very bottom, which I really wanted because the dress was coming up short as is, and that was perfect. So I think this blue picks up some of those colors that are throughout the floral print. I'm just so happy with that because now it sort of gives the dress what it was missing, what the other garment that I made out of cotton voile was missing, which is that weight that just like grounds it, you know? So I love it. I'm wearing it here with a belt, which I think for the most part I probably would. Otherwise, the S9114 is quite boxy in nature. It's meant to be quite loose, so you can see it here. right? But I really enjoy it because I did actually wear it just like this to work, and hopefully you've seen a clip or will be seeing a clip of that. But what's really nice about that is on the days where it's so sweltering hot and I don't want anything touching me, this is going to be great. It is French seamed throughout. I was able to use these buttons that I had thrifted, and of course the under collar is the fabric that keeps on giving. This cotton gingham fabric that I have used now. I made a skirt with it. I used it as the under collar for that gingham, navy and white gingham sort of wrap top from that I hacked the S8834 to make. So it's just, so long as it lives in this like bin in the sewing room, I use and reuse those fabrics just to get as much use out of them. And I'm really happy that it's come in handy. I will talk a lot more about the making of this and all of the alterations that I did to the pattern to get it to be the dress that you see before you in an upcoming makes video. I know I think I owe you all 2 months worth of makes now, April and May. So I hope to get that to you soon, but we'll talk more about this make then, okay? On to the next make. It is here. It is unnecessary. It is fun. It doesn't take itself too seriously. It's a punch in the face. It is a delight to witness. It's such a treat, and I loved making this garment. It challenged me in many ways because I didn't have much of this fabric. I think I had a bit over a yard of fabric, and I knew I wanted some sort of blouse, something that I could wear out, and it had some nicks and some cuts in it in some really awkward places. So I had to let the fabric tell me what it wanted me to do, and I'm really proud. Okay, so we used McCall's 9358. I did the top that the model is wearing. This is also French seam throughout, of course, because we're dealing with silks, my friend. Okay, we are going to respect the silk, and it's just glorious. I did not have a lot of this fabric, as I've already mentioned, and I should have read the full and complete directions for that McCall's pattern, because then I would have recognized that this calls for, as a necessity to the making of it, a facing. I didn't know that, okay? I did not know that. That was something that I discovered after already cutting out the front pieces of silk, in which you do not go back. You do not walk back your steps when you're working with silk, friends. You just got to push through, okay? So this facing goes all the way from that shoulder seam, okay, all the way down the front. I also then did not have enough to cut the underlining, so it also made its way there. And because I then ended up making cuffs for this shirt, no, the pattern does not call for cuffs. I put some cuffs on there for reasons that you will discover in the May Makes video, but I also used that silk for that. This silk was also in the fabulous stash, because this is the silk that I used when making my red lace top. So it was already here. This is a really nice excuse to show you just how beautiful this garment looks on the inside, because I am beyond proud of how well the finishes are in this. Look at that. I'd never done a collar like this before, by the way, so I learned some things. I definitely think I stretched out the silk in some areas, but beautifully French seamed. Look at the sheen on the inside of this. It feels as good as it looks, friends. So if you feel like, ooh, that might feel good, it feels better than that. Whatever you're thinking, it's better. It's just buttery soft. I feel wealthy in it. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. It feels rich and luxe, and like someone put a lot of thought in making it, and I did. So I'm proud that it turned out the way that it did. Okay, I used the funnest buttons I could find in my stash. These were thrifted, and they are these stars. They have a bit of glitter on them. I will say though, to be truthful, to be honest, it snags like the dickens, and like the corners of these stars are kind of, I mean, like sharp for like fabric standards, right? It's silk anyway, so I probably wouldn't want to just throw it in the washer machine, but but if by accident it ever got in the washing machine, I think these buttons would just tear up this fabric. Like, it snags on itself once, and I was like, oh, you are going to damage my silk. So I don't know how long these stars are going to last on this make, or if I'll take them out. They're different colors also, because I wanted to pull from all the colors that are within. I just felt like with this comic book print, it just needed something fun. I didn't want like simple buttons. Let me show you. This was the alternative. These were also thrifted. They're from Italy. They're so cool. But I was thinking, the yellow looks like the eyes of the tigers that are on the fabric. The only issue was, because this facing is red, I wanted to make sure that the thread I used to put on the buttons was also red, so that on the inside you don't see it, because I wasn't wise and I had already stitched, like I hand tacked the facing down to the silk, and I'm not undoing that. Because what I should have done was sewn on the buttons behind the facing and then tack down the facing, so it doesn't matter what thread color I use anyways. But now it does matter. And I don't know, for some reason I was having a real hard time thinking about putting red thread through this button, because you would then be able to see it since the buttons are on the top. For these star buttons, it's a shank button, so you don't see any of the thread on the top, so it doesn't matter throughout all the different colors. The thread just goes through, you know, the shank part of it, so you don't really have to worry about that. Anyways, now this is becoming a makes video, and that's not what this is. So let's move on. But before we do, can we have a round of applause? It gave me so much joy sewing this, and yes, it is very autumnal in my opinion in color, and I am well on my way into summer. However, this paired with like a pair of high-waisted white mom jeans, it's gonna be a moment, and I'm really excited that I have it in my wardrobe. And it just made me go slowly. It's silk, you know? So you take your time when you're working with silk. It's fun. I sincerely am not sewing purely because I need clothes. That's not the reason I do this hobby. I am well equipped in that area. It's really for makes like this that just bring you joy. And you're like, this is exciting. I want to add this. And I did, and I'm happy. There it is. All right. If you're wondering why I keep coming so close to you, is because I'm checking the phone to make sure that it hasn't stopped recording, because I don't want that to happen again to us, to this conversation, okay? All right, we're still good. All right, so next up, I want to tell you what I've cut out and what is in the sewing room prepped and ready to go. I went back to the Make 9 files, and I wanted to make sure that I was going to bring something up this month that was going to get us one step closer to completing the Make 9 challenge. Because as far as challenges have been going this year, y'all, I'm not really hitting as many of them, but this one I feel really good about. So I pulled out this beautiful woven wrap dress. It's Simplicity 8735. I am going to be working on view D. So I cannot wait to work on it. I'm really excited about it. I am going to be making it out of this beautiful rayon jacquard fabric that I picked up at G Street Fabrics. This was in their dead stock section as well, so unfortunately I can't link to it, but you can sort of see the jacquard on the backside. I just love the teal color. I'm in love with this floral outline sort of print. It's just glorious. The fabric is legitimately cool to the touch. I think it's going to be one of the perfect sort of toss it on sort of dresses throughout the sweltering summer. I'm in Maryland, so in the DC metro area, and it gets muggy and humid and hot here. And I know there's hot, but there are different levels of heat, and it's just like skipped spring. It just skipped spring, and we are in summer. So some of these days have been like real hot, and I was like, okay, this rayon is gonna give me what I need to make it through, because as someone who's gonna still be dressing like fully covered and things like that, you need some breathable, some lighter things, some things that are cool to the touch, and I think this is going to fit the bill. I am going to be lining the bodice, so I did bring out this awesome rayon fabric from the stash also, just to line parts of the bodice for me, so that I get a really nice clean finish on the inside. I've realized that I think I've watched enough of Sean from Kittenish Behavior, from a lot of her videos, and she's changed my mind. Every time I see a facing, I'm like, how can I not do that? So if it's gonna either be a bias binding or just to fully line it, and I think sometimes, yeah, fully lining it, particularly with lighter fabrics like rayons, I think it's just gonna really give it the support that would make it last a bit longer, in my opinion. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. It is fully cut out, which is why I couldn't show you the pieces. It's rayon. I don't want it shifting and sort of stretching out in places, so we're gonna leave that put. But I have 2 events happening this week that I would love to sew for. I don't think, okay, I'm not gonna speak ill. No, we're gonna be optimistic. I have 2 events coming up. On Thursday, I am going to prom. Okay, I'm chaperoning prom, but still, I get to go, right? So one of my colleagues has been trying to drive it home, really. She's like, Fatmata, but you know, it's not your prom. And I want her to take those words back. What does she mean? Okay, if I'm going to be present and there, when I say I'm going to prom, that statement is still valid, truthful, and honest. Am I not going to prom? I'm going to prom. So I don't know what she's trying to speak upon me. If she doesn't want me to upstage the young girls there, she could just say that. Don't want me to upstage them? I will do my best, but I will make no promises, my friends, because this is the fabric. I just want to be cloaked in this gorgeous fuchsia fabric that I thrifted recently. I have like 5.5 or 6 yards of this goodness. It's like a chiffon fabric. And in my like intro video, the little intro thing that you all watch every single video, I have this green, like a seafoam green dress that I made back in 2020. And it's just like gathers, really billowy, and then I cinched it in with like a belt. But something like that out of this gorgeous bright fuchsia color with the high sort of collared neck that I tie in a bow at the back. I also have a silk that's quite similar to this color that I could probably use to make like an under sort of cami, like a high neck, something that I would wear under it. Because this is, I mean, it's chiffon, so it's a little bit sheer. And even if I'm going to have the gathers, I still want to, you know, I keep it classy. So I need something to wear under it. So I might do that. It's going to be a lot of gathering, but because I've made something similar before, and I'm sure that I have a pattern in my stash that I could use to kind of get the fit a little bit better and closer to what I want, this could be a thing. I think I would actually be able to make this happen by Thursday night, which is prom. So we'll see. This fabric was $6.99, you guys, for almost 6 yards of fabric. I'm sorry I can't link to it. I'm just really happy that I found it, and I might actually make something with it. I'm kind of hopeful that I will. It's not as wide as the widest of fabric, so I'm guessing that this might be maybe 45 inches, maybe 50 inches. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, so it's 45 inches wide, so like on the narrower end of things, but with so much of it, I could definitely get a lot of great use out of this. It has still not been washed because there's so much of it. I was just waiting for a time when I didn't have actual laundry to do, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and just put this in the wash just in case the timing is right and I can, you know, during a nap time, just start getting the pieces cut out. I can actually make this and have something fabulous to wear. You'll know next week's Friday sews, okay? So that's the first event. Secondly is graduation. So graduation will be on Sunday, and I pulled out another fabric. It's this gorgeous lilac, sort of lavendery color that this is a more recent purchase from G Street Fabric. I think maybe in their in the President's Day sale that I went to. So this is the wrong side of it, but this will kind of show you how it's like embossed, it's embellished, it's gorgeous. And this is the right side. So you'll see those flowers are raised, and it has these sort of like, it's like a peekaboo cut out so you can see through, which is why I have this mauve color here. I'm thinking I'm definitely going to need to put something behind it because modesty, okay? I don't want all of And the little eyelet pieces, I need something to protect my body. So yeah, I like the way that that kind of looks under it. Yeah, it's nice. It gives me the coverage I need without being too heavy. I think I picked up this fabric maybe in like a Joann's, no, a bundle maybe at like Walmart a couple of years ago. So it's really slinky, very light. It could be a polyester knit, but it also could be like a tensile knit. It feels quite cool to the touch. Either way, it's lightweight. I like it. I have so many ideas in my mind of what I would want the dress to look like. And then when I went into my pattern stash, I really don't have a lot of knit appropriate patterns. I sew a lot with wovens, and that's honestly what I'm mostly attracted to. So when I was trying to figure out what to make out of this, I was so sad because my vision wasn't really aligning with a lot of the patterns I have. Now let me show you. I held this up against my body and it did a drape that I instantly fell in love with, and I was like, how can I recreate that? Like, I want that. Let me see if I can do it again. So I'm just looking in the mirror, just trying to see if I can do it. So anyways, like, I held it up to my body like this, and there's something about the way that that folds over, like if it's higher, sort of like at a curve. I love curves on knits. That it just like falls over and does something really cool. If I like had multiple layers of that doing it, which is what I think, that's how I held it the first time, and I was like, oh, could I recreate that in an actual sewn garment? I would just love to. Like that. Do you see it kind of? And then have the rest of it kind of going up. I don't know. I'm still playing with it. It's wide enough that I can have the stripes sort of going side to side all the way down. And because it has these, what I'm going to call stripes, for lack of a better words, but because the print does kind of go in a striped manner, I was thinking I could play with the stripe placement and sort of have like a V-neck design, but then a V-neck would mean I would need to wear something under it, and that adds a light layer of complexity and complications that I don't really want to get into. So I'm just trying to figure out how to utilize this fabric and take advantage of all of the cool, interesting details, right? To have some fun with it. So whether it's like making the skirt go up and down, but it does have stretch only in one direction, so along the rows, so it doesn't have stretch sort of this direction. So keeping that in mind, I want to just get some good use out of this. I think I purchased 2 yards. I really should have bought more. When I was at the sale on that day, there definitely was more, but with this color being sort of out of my comfort zone already, I don't think I was thinking. So I think I got maybe a little over 2 yards of it. So really hopeful that I can get a dress for graduation. So I think what that means is that I'll have to wait on doing the Simplicity wrap dress. Like, I need to put that on the back burner. Even though it's cut out, I need to just like nicely, gently shift it over. Don't want to stretch the rayon out, just put it somewhere for safekeeping, and then get started on the fuchsia fabric. If that prom dress will see the light of day, it needs to get started soon. And then I can start working on the knit fabric for a potential graduation dress. Of course, as with many of these events, I have ample things to wear, thankfully. So it is like no harm, no foul. If I don't get them done, I will just wear them on an upcoming girls trip that I have coming in July. God willing, we will see some sunshine. We will be reunited with my gal pals, and it's going to be incredible. So these inspirations are still going to be good things for me to have. All right, still gonna work on them. So that's sort of like the immediate plan, what's on my mind. As always, these linens are here, and I keep reordering them and trying to figure out what order I'm going to feel good about in my spirit, so that one day I can move forth with making the Zimmerman inspired dress. But until then, they just live here, inspiring me, taunting me, talking to me, assuring me that something will be made sometime soon. Okay, I honestly think that that is all I need to really share with you at this time related to Friday sews, or just catching up on what's happening in the sewing room. I was out for the count for these past 2 weeks, like out for it. My body gave up on me. Like 2 weekends ago, it just shut down. So I was like in bed, just trying to rest, recover. It was really bad. And now I'm better. So I was really excited when I got to finish the silk top. That was like the latest thing that I finished at the very end of May, and have just been trying to like deal with all the things with like school almost closing and all of that, like lots to do at work. And yeah, it's been really good, but I'm excited that like I have my sewjo back. Not that I felt like I really lost it, but just not being well, I just was kind of out of it. So I'm really excited and hopeful that throughout the summer I might have like more time to sew. Let me tell you what one of the biggest inspirations was throughout MeMadeMay. And I'm going to have like a separate video, maybe another Friday Sews where I just do a segment on MeMadeMay. I don't have time right now, but I had a lot of thoughts. But one of the creators on this YouTube platform that just kept me inspired throughout the entire month, there were a couple, Sarah from Naughty Gnome, but who I wanted to talk about right now is Teresa from Lost My Thread. And let me tell you why. Teresa, at the beginning of MeMadeMay, committed to making no new items. She was just going to be looking in her stash and kind of taking out garments and finishing, finessing them, reworking them, altering them, all the things that we as sewers sometimes, like if that's your Achilles heel, you know, and we relate, like alterations. Ugh, no, we hate them. But they are necessary sometimes and you have to do them. And she committed and on a weekly basis came back to report the things that she made, refashioned, and it was excellent. And I applauded her. And I'm just so inspired because I have many a things, you know this, that I shared with you all at the beginning of the year of all of the UFOs, unfinished objects that exist in my life. And a couple that were actually produced this year, the Sicily slip dress, the jumpsuit that I made with, you know, the wrap over that's like inspired by the Zadie jumpsuit, and the like rectangle top, all of which I think will be given to my sister, oddly enough, but I want to like finish them so I could gift them because they just live in a carousel just beyond that curtain. What you don't see there is just a pile things, okay? And I want to get it done so I can gift them, and also so that I know what my mistakes were, so if I want to make similar garments in the future, I am ready and able and capable and know what alterations need to be done. So I do want to work on that, and then possibly one day attempt to start working on some of those things that are in that UFO bin, or create the world's best poof and just start stuffing it with those fabrics in their cutout pieces and just like let bygones be bygones. Okay, if they're not going to be made, then they're just not going to be made. But I think some of them could thrive in the world and be wearable. So we'll see. But that was a huge inspo. So I will leave a link to her videos and her most recent sort of recap down below, because that truly, it kept me going throughout MeMadeMay. Sarah from Naughty Gnome also did a really cool thing where each week she like had a new challenge for herself, and I was like, that's really cool. Me, on the other hand, all I wanted to do was post a photo of myself in a MeMade garment every single day. And I tell you, days 1 through 15 felt awesome. And then when it didn't feel awesome, oh, it did not feel awesome. And then I stopped. I told you me and Instagram have a love-hate relationship already, okay? So I am not really big on there. If you have messaged me and have not heard a response, I apologize. It's not the platform that I'm gravitating towards at the moment. It does a lot. I don't know. I have to work out my kinks with Instagram and then commit to using it. But I was really committed for the first half of the month, and then when I like fell ill or like had this really bad back spasm, something was going on with me, I just didn't feel like it anymore. When we had really negative news here in the US, like a lot of crazy stuff, emotionally, I was just drained. I was done. I was like, what's the point? This is really ridiculous. And I just didn't feel like it anymore. So I didn't. I did wear quite a bit of MeMade, and I noticed that the days that I didn't wear MeMade were often on weekends when I'm like cleaning, running about the house, just doing stuff here and there, where I don't need to like look put together. I don't really make a lot of lounge stuff. I think I have my one lounge set, like this blue lounge set that I made in 2020, and like I put that in rotation here and there. And I'm also an outfit repeater. So if I stand before you in a dress and I'm just recording a video and I take this off in a few minutes, I will be like, oh, that dress really worked out. I should wear this on Thursday to work. So when you're trying to post like one photo every single day though, that sort of quick turnaround of like, oh, didn't she just wear that? It doesn't give the same, like in real life, I'm sure people do that. But when you're like photographing it every single day, you start to like, you're like, oh, I can't wear that again. And that added another layer of pressure. So that was just like interesting things that I was recognizing or noticing. And I love dresses. I love to be able to put it on and walk out the door in the mornings. And I hated ironing. So if it needed to be ironed, I probably just didn't wear it. And if I needed to like match and put sets and outfits together, if I had not previously worn it and like knew that those two things went together, like my brain is just not at that level of function, because it's probably going to be the case that one of the items is ready to toss on and the other needs just this little bit of alterations, is missing a button or is wrinkled, and then I cannot be bothered, and then I'm looking for a dress and then I'm out the door. So it just gave me that confidence of like, yes, sewing dresses makes sense for you. It's what you wear. You like them. So I can keep doing that. But if I am going to do separates, just to be mindful of like the fabrics and the materials that I'm using to make the separates, and possibly tossing in a couple of knits, which don't often require as much ironing as some of the other woven garments. So just something for me to think about in the future, or try and have more space in my closet so that I can hang things without them getting rumpled instead of like having them folded. So all things that I can think about. But MeMadeMay, yeah, was quite interesting. I hope you enjoyed your MeMadeMay if you participated. Did you kind of burn and lose steam like I did, or did you commit and kind of complete whatever your pledge was for the entire month? I would love to know. Also, let me know what you think about my two new makes, my silk top as well as my cotton voile dress. I'm really excited about them. So honestly, I mean, that's all that I really need from that. And I'm really excited about the upcoming makes. And I have like a lot of sewjo right now. So I'm hopeful that I can get into the sewing space at least maybe tonight. And then possibly tomorrow, and then throughout the week, maybe after work. We shall see, because Thursday is going to be here really soon. Sunday is going to be here really soon. You will know in my Friday sews next week what I get done. I hope that whatever you're doing, wherever you are, that you stay creative, friends. Bye-bye.